Here we go. Happy Wednesday. Don't normally say Wednesday. I'm not normally here on a Wednesday. Hopefully we are all set up and good to go. I was on just a few minutes earlier just to get us all ready, so I won't start quite yet. Ooh, amazing. Hopefully you can all see me okay, hear me okay. Do let me know if there's any problems. So, what a soggy day. I think this is the start for some soggier weather for sure. But always needed when we've got lots of sun. So we'll just have to get through it. Maybe some energetic stuff tonight, try and give us a little boost day, something like that. But I hope your week's going really well. I want to say we're halfway through. It is, it's Wednesday. We're halfway through. So that's not so bad, is it? I always think after a bank holiday, it's always a bit longer. But hopefully you're doing okay. So, fab. I reckon, where are we? It's about 7 o'clock. Hope. I've been in the centre where I work, and I hadn't changed any of the clocks back there since, I don't know, February, March. So I feel like I've been on totally the wrong time all day. So hopefully I am now back on the right time again. But we've got our hour flow tonight. Yeah, let me know if there's anything particular you want me to do. If not, I'm just going to go for it, see what happens, see what comes out. Probably a few little twisty things, I would have thought, a little stuff for the back, stuff for the hips, all the usual kind of gubbins, really. So whenever you're ready, down onto the mat and into your seated pose. So take your time. I'm pretty sure I'm on a creaky floorboard again. So let's see. We'll see how that one turns out. So just take some time to get comfortable. Find the seated pose that works for you, whether that's on a cushion, cross-legged, or legs out in front, just whichever you prefer. And sitting up nice and tall for me. So just have a little wiggle around, find a nice neutral spot, and then just take a few breaths there. So just breathing in through the chest, maybe down towards the belly. And then breathe out the mouth. It might come with a little sigh if that feels good. Just letting the air out. Let's do that 2 more times. So take a big inhale. And exhale. And 1 more time. Big inhale. And exhale. We'll bring the hands down to the sides with the palms out. Take a nice big inhale to float up all the way, nice and tall. Easy exhale out the mouth. We'll bring those hands down to the chest and just plug the thumbs into the heartbeats. Just see if you can find that nice, easy rhythm. Once you're there, I just want you to gently scan down your body and just notice how it feels. It could be you've got little aches or niggles around if you've been at your desk all day, or just generally feel a bit achy. Maybe you notice the temperature of your skin more, or the connection you have to the ground. Then we'll draw that attention towards the breath without changing it too much, just noticing if it's maybe high in your chest or a little lower in the belly. Maybe it feels quick or slow. And finally the mind. I just want you to notice how you feel right this moment. And whenever you feel ready to, we can start to bring the hands down to the knees with the palms up, and we're going to warm ourselves up. So just sitting up nice and tall. Start by taking an inhale, turning your head all the way over to one side, just stretching into the neck. And then as you exhale all the way over to the other side, taking that stretch as deeply as you can. Big inhale takes you back. Feel your breath go down to your belly. Easy exhale again. Softens you over. Just go nice and slow. Maybe close the eyes if that feels good. Helps you to focus on the breath. Just go for one more of those. And then center up in the middle whenever you feel ready. Once you're back in the center, we're going to take a bit of a bigger stretch for our trapeze, so top of the shoulders. I want you to bring your hands down, take an inhale to lift up. Once you're there, interlace your fingers and then bring those hands forward. So I'm pushing my fingers together, interlacing them right in front. So once we're in this position, the more you push those hands away, you should feel this deepening of the stretch in the shoulders and the back. Once we get to that spot, I want you to relax your head down so you're looking in between your legs. Then nice and gently, as you inhale, see if you can push the hands a little further away. And as you exhale, relax the head down a little bit more. And do that 2 more times with me. So inhale, lengthen those arms. Exhale, relax the head down. One more, lengthen those hands as you breathe in. And release the head down as you breathe out. On your next inhale, slowly start to lift those heads, to bring the head down. I think my brain's gone today. And bring them all the way down. We'll come into a little bit of a twist here. So we're going to take a big inhale, lift both hands up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, twist to one side, catching your knee with the outside arm, so the opposite arm, and bring that hand down behind you, looking over the shoulder. Take a nice big inhale to see if you can twist a little deeper, keeping the spine tall. And then as you exhale, we can bring it back to the front. Same thing on the other side. So take a big inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist. Just catching the knee with the hands. Big inhale to see if you can go around a little deeper. And then exhale to the front. Good. We'll start to move in towards our waist. So bring one hand down, inhale the other hand all the way up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, just see if you can soften the whole body down and stretch it out. If you feel this knee lift off the ground too much, then just take both knees in the same direction, just to help you get the stretch in the sides. We'll then start to move around a little bit. So if you lean forward, sweep the arms to the front. Take a moment just to settle in, relax the head down. Just start to get that stretch moving into your side a little bit more, maybe into the neck as you relax your head. You can then start to open everything out, roll the shoulder around, look up to the ceiling, and send that arm behind. Again, just stretch it out just as far as it will go that you feel comfortable with. And I want you to move from those 2 positions. So anywhere you need to linger that just needs that extra stretch, spend a little longer there. Or we can just take this nice easy back and forth. Whenever you feel ready for the other side, take a nice big inhale to lift it up and an exhale to send it over. Same thing, you can stay seated or we can just release one leg and stretch out from there if that's more comfortable. Just as before, we can start to lean either forward or backwards, relax the body down. Just opening that chest as you look up and sending the arm backwards. Then I want you to take a nice big inhale, come all the way back up to the center, come into seated pose if you can for me. Bring the hands up and then as you exhale, gently forward fold down. So you can shift your bum around here just to get a little bit more comfortable, either crossing the arms over the chest and bringing the head down, or we can slide those arms out in front of us and relax down there. 3 big deep breaths from you here. So as you inhale, we can lift the chest, even slide the hands forward. And then as you exhale, soften back down. 2 more just the same. So in your own breath, inhale, make the space. And as you exhale, soften into it. Take a nice big deep inhale, lift up. I just want you to lean backwards, bring your hands backwards so you can slide your feet out in front of you. So we're going to take a little forward fold. You can move your bum out the way just so you can feel the sit bones. Toes facing up to the ceiling if you can. And bring those knees towards you if you need to so you can touch your toes. So just find the spot that works for you best. But we're going to start to come down from the belly all the way up to the shoulders. So we think about almost tilting the hips and forward folding from there. All words have gone today. Bring the hands down, take a big inhale, lift up. And then as you exhale, I lean it forward. I'm going to roll down 1 notch at a time. If I can, I want to see if I can hook onto my big toes with my index and middle fingers, my peace fingers, and then relax down. The aim of that is just to get the elbows to soften down, the shoulders to soften down. Same thing as before, we'll lift and lower with the breath 3 times. So take an inhale to lift up, and an exhale back down. 2 more, all the way up, and down. Last one. And down. Good. You can release those toes. Gently roll yourself up. We'll just start to check in with the hips a little bit and see how they feel. So we're going to go for a bit of a rock the baby. So I want you to take 1 foot into your opposite hand and hug it in. So we're trying to bring it nice and close. Rather than the foot coming down towards the other leg, we're trying to bring it up nice and high. So we're almost getting a little right angle in this knee. If you've got a nice bent elbow here, you can take your foot, tuck it into your elbow crease, and just bring it in a little closer towards you, okay? Once you're there, it's called rock the baby for a reason. We just have a little rock side to side. No need to put your foot over your head unless you really, really want to. If you wanted to put a bit more pressure there, then you can gently lean back and hug it in. If you feel like you might fall over doing that, take your free hand and place it behind you so that you don't roll all the way over and you can get that slightly deeper stretch into the leg. Give it 1 last little squeeze and then we can release. Same thing for the other side. So take your time, bring the foot into your opposite hand, hug it in. Take your time. Again, if you find that you can't get that close, just hold on to it wherever you are and gently rock it there. Just support it and rock it wherever you can. Okay, tight the leg as always. Give it a little hug, maybe a little squeeze if that feels good. Maybe a little lean back if you want to. Yes. And then we can release. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. Feel free to grab a little drink if you need it, and then we'll move into our flow bit, a bit of energy. And move the microphone away. Hopefully we're all good so far. I got these on, there we go, in the right place. So if you're ready, we'll come into box pose first. So knees directly under the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, nice flat back here, tuck those elbows in. So if you know if those inside of your elbow starts to sway forward, just tuck it in for me so your arms are nice and strong. If you need to, just slide a hand down your back. Just make sure it feels nice and flat. So we don't want any arching or dipping here. We just want to squeeze the tummy to get it nice and flat. We'll come into a few cat-cows. So look out in front. Inhale, lift your head and your bum nice and high. Belly down as you look up. And then exhale, curl the spine into cat. I'm going to curl the spine. So much so I'm looking in between my legs here. So big stretch. Take an inhale, come back through to cow. And then just push the shoulders down as you look up. And exhale, curl it round into cat again. Good, 1 more just like that. So all the way through. And then curl it round. We can then take our moving cat-cow. So looking between the legs in this pose, Slowly bring your bum down to your feet. So down into child's pose, getting a big stretch in the back as you go down. If it feels good to lengthen those hands a little further away. Bring the forehead down. Get a big stretch in the shoulders. You can soften the elbows down whenever you're ready, and then take a nice big inhale to lift up and back into cow. So bring the hands under the shoulders, sticking your bum up in the air. Let's do that 2 more times. So curl the spine into cat, look between the legs, slowly bring it down. Lengthen the hands if that feels good. And then come back through. And last one for me. And then come to a neutral spine. Once you're in your neutral spine, we're going to take a few little bum wags side to side just to wake up the waist. So lean your bottom over to the left and look over your left shoulder. See if you can see it. And then do the same thing on the right. So we're going to lean it over to the right, look over your shoulder, see if you can see it. And just do that a few times for me. It should be enough of a little stretch in your waist that you can feel it there. So we're really sticking our bums over to the side. I know. Come back towards your neutral spine, and then we'll come up to our first down dog. So move those hands slightly further away, curl the toes, big inhale lifts you up, bums nice and high, heels off the ground, and just walking on the spot as soon as you're there, getting that big stretch down the back of the legs, pushing with the base of the hands to take the weight back. If it feels good, take those feet out nice and wide. Really lean back here. You can bend your knees if that feels good, together or one at a time. Any little movements that you like. We'll bring our feet a bit closer together and just lift and lower to the tiptoes 3 times. So take a nice big inhale, lift up to your tiptoes. And then as you exhale, soften back down. Just to get your clicks out. 2 more the same. So big inhale, lift up. Exhale, back down. Last one, big inhale, lift up. Exhale, back down. Good. Start to soften those knees. Slowly walk up to the top of your mat for forward fold. So take your time. Gently walk yourself up. Top of the mat. Feet hip distance apart. So that's 2 fists between your big toes. Knees as soft as you need them to be. And we'll just have a little moment here to relax the head down and come into ragdoll. So bring hands to opposite elbows. Relax your head. Feel those shoulder blades release and relax down. If you need to give your head a little bit of a shake, a little yes and a little no. Take a nice big deep inhale. And as you exhale, relax the body down. Okay, coming into a little twist here. So bring your right hand to the outside of your left ankle. And then inhale the left hand all the way up to the ceiling, looking up if you can. And exhale back down. Same thing on the other side. So we cross it over. Big inhale lifts you up. And again, easy exhale, we bend it down. Bend those knees. Inhale, roll up to stand. Squeeze the tummy as you go. Head's the last thing up. Nice big exhale once you get there. Good. Let's test the balance. I hear you. If you're already saying, please don't test my balance, I think this is going to be bad, but we're going to try. So, looking out in front, find something to focus on that doesn't move. Squeeze your tummy. See if you can inhale to lift your right knee up to your chest and then soften the standing leg. So soften your left knee. You can see automatically my free hand, my left hand has come up. I'm doing my jazz hands. I'm finding that focus out in front and I'm just sending that knee over to the side. We always want some movement in our balance. We don't want to be rigid, don't want to lock anything out. Just test waters, see how it feels. Good. Take an inhale, lift the knee up to the chest. Exhale, back, low lunge. So send it back. Bring those hands down for me. Have a little moment here just to shimmy around. Make sure the heel's on the ground. We've got to get a little right angle in the front leg. Just coming into our twisted lunge here. So keep your right hand down. Inhale that left hand all the way up to the ceiling, looking up if you can. Exhale back down. Same thing on the open side. So left hand down, inhale the right hand all the way up. And then exhale back down. Good. Ground those hands down. Push back to a plank pose for me. So send your left leg back into plank. Just shifting the hips a little bit here. Getting comfy. I say comfy. I know that's a lie. Just coming into a good spot. Let's build a bit of energy here. So if you can stay in full plank, that's grand. If you need to, soften the knees down, uncurl the toes, but keep those hips tucked in. So keep your bum down. So whichever you can go for. We're going to come down onto the elbows and back up again. So I want you to come down onto your right elbow, down onto your left elbow, up on the right, and then up on the left. One more time with me. Down on the right, down on the left, up on the right, up on the left. Whew. Push back, down dog, and breathe. Bit of energy, building it up. If that was quite tough, if you were doing that in full plank, next time, because I'm afraid to say there will be a next time, then just come down onto the knees for me. Let's do the same little thing again. So we're going to walk up to the top of our mat for forward fold. Walk your hands up. Take your time. Feet hip distance apart, knees nice and soft. And you can either ragdoll again here. You can let your arms dangle. Or if you've got any stiffness in your shoulder blades today, I want you to bend those knees, bring the hands up, interlace them behind your back. Either just send them down your back if that feels good. Or if not, bend those knees and inhale, lift those hands up and over. So this is a real icky sticky one. So it's getting right into your shoulder blades. Going to give your head a little shake here. Anything just to help ease out that little area. It's a bit like concrete. Take a nice big deep inhale. As you exhale, we can release everything down to the ground. Okay, coming into a little twist again. Right hand to the outside of the left leg. Inhale the left hand all the way up. Looking up. And then exhale back down. Same thing on the other side. So we cross it over, big inhale, lift up. Exhale, soften back down. Bend the knees. Inhale, roll up to stand. Squeeze the tummy as you go. Exhale, the last thing up. Take your time. Whew. Okay. Balance on the other side. You best see, I suppose, how it feels. So we're going to lean towards our right. Find something to focus in front. What have I got? There we go. Squeeze your tummy. Inhale, lift the left knee up. Soften your standing leg. Find your balance point. Use your free hand and just see if you can start to open up that knee. Take your time. Wobbling's good. I'm going to wobble all over the place. I don't know, I'm drawing some big circle with my free hand, but if it's working, we're going to go for it. Take a big inhale, lift the knee up to the chest. Exhale, back, low lunge. Sweep it back. Hands come down. Again, you can always just wiggle yourself here in your own time. Once you've settled in, twisted lunge. Left hand down. Inhale the right hand all the way up to the ceiling. And then exhale back down. Same thing on the other side. So we bring the right hand a little further away. Open out to the left. And then exhale back down. Good. Ground the hands down. Push back to plank again. So push it back. Shift yourself around, maybe shift the hips. That can help soften us down. If we need to, bring those back knees. You haven't got front knees. Bring your knees down, release the toes. And then I don't really make you look at my bottom, but rather than sticking my bottom up, I'm going to lean forward and I'm going to tuck my bottom in. Hopefully you can see that. And we can go from this position. It is Wednesday. I'll do this one at this position. So I'm going to go down on my right elbow, down on my left elbow. I'm going to push up on my right and then push up on my left. We'll do that one more time. Down on the right, down on the left, up on the right, and up on the left. Good. Curl the toes, push back, down dog. Breathe, pedal into your feet. Hopefully the back of those legs feel a little bit more awake now. Take a nice big deep inhale. And as you exhale, soften the knees down to the ground, uncurl the toes, and rest back in child's pose. Have a little moment just in child's pose. If you need to, if you've just had your tea or anything like that, bring your knees out wide, keep your toes together, and it's going to give your belly and your chest a little bit more room. So if that feels better for you, go for that. Have a few breaths there while I grab a little drink, or feel free to grab a drink with me. And hopefully we are all okay. It's amazing how quickly with just a few moves you can really change the energy of a little flow, build it up, get a bit of heat, which is good. It's what we want. Amazing. Hopefully we're all good. So next little flow, we're going to do a down dog split into low lunge, which probably haven't done of late as much. So I'm going to give you a super quick refresher on my little hints and tips. I put some of teeth in today, I feel like I have, of how to go through it. So I'm going to quickly show you on my right side so you can see, and then we'll put it into a flow together. So down dog split to low lunge is just a nice quick way to get into that position. Feels quite fun as well to do, so that's what we're going for. So you feel free just to watch along for a moment. I'm just going to quickly show you. So we would start in down dog, all the way back. I'm going to lean over to my left. That's the first thing that's going to help me. And then inhale to lift my right leg up, just as high as you can get it. From there, bend your knee, so keep it nice and bent, and look towards your fingertips. So don't look straight down, I look towards my fingertips. From there, to help me bring the knee down, I'm going to come up to my tiptoes. Because I'm short, that's going to give me a little bit more room there. So I look forward, come up to my tiptoes, and then slide the foot forward, okay? Now, like me, I didn't quite get it all the way there. I'm just going to casually wiggle it there. If you find that you got to maybe here or even a little further back, you can just take your hand. It's not going to feel very graceful, but you can, and you can just sweep it forward just to get to that position, okay? And we should be able to ground the hands down and push back and go into our down dog again. Those little things to think about are leaning to the side so you can pick up the leg, coming onto the tiptoes of your toes on the floor, bending the knee at the top and keeping it as bent as you can as you sweep through, and then looking towards your fingertips. If you look further down, if you look directly down, I promise you it's as far as you'll get, because you're guiding yourself to where you're looking at. So we're going to look ahead, positive mental attitude, all of that jazz, and just help us sweep it through. And it will come over time, I promise. So if you've not quite got that one yet, it will happen. One day it will all come together and feel amazing. So that's why we do it. Okay, so we're going to go into that and we're going to have a little flow with it. I'm not going to tell you what we're up to yet. I'm not sure yet. So coming into child's pose for me, and we'll go from there. So we're going to come all the way down. Take a few little breaths. Once you're there, just settle in. Once you're ready, take a nice big inhale, lift up through box pose, curl the toes, big push down dog, all the way up. Breathe once you're there, pedal into those feet. And then we're going to take our down dog split to low lunge with the right leg. So I lean to my left, inhale, lift my right leg nice and high, bend the knee, look forward, exhale, sweep through, giving it a little wiggle. It needs convincing to do so. Yes. Again, you can just shift your weight around. We want to get to a position where we can take the hands away and the legs feel nice and strong. If you take your hands away and you feel a bit wobbly, just move the feet around and get that spot. We're going from a low lunge to a high lunge here. So look forward, take a big inhale, push up. Keep looking forward here. See if you can straighten those legs. And then as you exhale, soften back down. Keep looking out in front. That will help. Two more the same for me. So big inhale, lift up, push through those legs. Easy exhale, all the way down. Last one for me. I want you to inhale, lift up. Now we're going to come into warrior two. I'm going to be facing the wrong way, so I will wiggle around in a moment. But from this position, I want you to rotate your back heel so your foot comes flat. Bend your right knee so you've got a nice big stretch there, and the hands come out to the side. So I'm aware I'm facing the wrong way, so I'm going to face the right way for you. So in our warrior two position, we want the legs to be as wide as you can get them. We were trying to aim for our heel in line with the arch of the back foot. I always have people tell me, imagine you're on a surfboard. It's something I've done once in my life and I wasn't very good at it. So, but this idea that we're lengthening those legs, we're taking them as wide as we can. Hips are facing forward And then we're bringing the hands out. Okay, so this is my front hand, this is my back hand. So it's a good thing because we're generally looking forward to have a little cursory glance at the back because it has a tendency to make its way a little lower. So just have a quick look at it, bring it up if you need to. From there, we'll lift and lower 3 times. So nice big lift. I want you to inhale, lift up. Again, you can straighten the legs to help. See if those fingertips can touch. And then exhale back down. 2 more for me. So big inhale, lift up. Easy exhale down. Last one, big inhale, lift up. Easy exhale down. A little reverse warrior here. So rotate the front hand so it's facing up. And then gently lean backwards, sending your hand down that back leg, getting a big stretch here in the waist. If you need to, we can look down. If we're looking up, it's a little bit too wobbly for you. Take a nice big deep inhale. And then as you exhale through extended side angle. So I'm going to bring my elbow down, rest it on this front knee. Bring my top hand either straight up or up and over if that feels good. So it just depends how this arm feels. See where it wants to go. Again, you can look down. You can look up towards the arm. Ooh, low wobble. But we're keeping the chest as forward as we can. Good. We're going to do that one more time. So inhale, lift up, all the way back to reverse warrior. Take a big inhale, really stretch. Exhale through extended side angle. So sweep yourself down. Bringing the hands to wherever it's comfortable. Coming up to warrior 2 for me again. So inhale, lift up, and just settle into warrior 2. I want you to take this front leg, come up onto the heel, and bring the toes so they face forward. So now both my toes are facing out in front, hips are forward. Always makes you feel like a jelly bean. I don't know why, but it's that sort of, I'm a little gummy bear, that sort of idea. So I'm sticking out in front. We are going to come into a forward fold in this pose. So it's going to be one for the inside of your legs here. The idea is that if you push your bum out, that's going to help you slowly come down. If you need to, you can bend the knees. If you need to, you can take your toes out a little wider, and that can also feel more comfortable. So just see how you feel coming down just as low as you can. So I'm going to push my hips back, stick my bum out, and gently walk myself down. So it might be you can just come onto the fingertips. It might be we can come down onto the hands. Try and relax the head down. It might be that we can come onto the elbows, the forearms. But again, if anything feels too tight, just inhale and lift it up a little bit. Now I gently just want you to sway here a little bit. So a little forward and a little back, just to get into those hips, get into the legs. Remember, if you come into this pose and it's too much, release your toes, so we just take them out. You can see I'm just having a little bend of my knee here. Sometimes it can just be that you get a little tight and you just need a bit of movement. If you feel happy to in this position, if you feel pretty strong, maybe see if you can lift one hand and send it back. So we're sending it through the legs and coming a little bit lower. If you feel particularly confident in this pose, you can take your other hand and do the same thing. So I'm sweeping my hands through. My head's just about on the floor. The fringe is definitely there. And it's just getting that bigger stretch. But just take one hand if you feel a little bit wobbly taking both. Again, you can maybe then start to bend the knees if you need to. We're slowly going to start to come up from here. So for this, I normally would take my toes out a little bit wider, bring my heels in, bend the knees, and then slowly rock myself up. Good. Coming back to warrior 2. So rotate those front toes, bend the knee, and come forward. Let's lift and lower one more time. So big inhale, lift up. And then as you exhale, we're sweeping forward into our low lunge again. So I bring myself down, rotate the back heel. See how you get on, that's it. And then we'll push back to down dog. So ground the hands down, push that leg all the way back, pedal into the feet. If you need to, if you felt that in your feet, you can always just roll onto the toes a little bit as well, just to release them there. If you need some time in child's pose, take some time in child's pose. If you're happy to go onto the other leg, we'll go onto the other leg. So it's our down dog split to low lunge left leg here. Inhale, lift the leg nice and high, bend the knee, look forward. Exhale, sweep it through. Maybe just a lot to say as I'm doing it. Take your time, settle in. From there, low lunge to high lunge. So again, I'm just going to take the hands away, make sure my legs feel nice and strong. Look forward. Inhale, lift up, push through the feet. Keep looking at that one spot. Exhale, back down. 2 more for me. So big inhale, lift up. Easy exhale down. Last one for me. We inhale, lift up. Rotate the back heel so it comes flat and open into warrior two. So obviously I have already done that leg. I'm going to just casually go onto this side. Will that throw you off too much? No, you'll be all right, won't you? Just so I can stretch my other leg at the same time. Okay, so warrior two, looking at the front. In the front is your knee that is bent. Have a little look at your backhand to make sure that's looking nice and straight. We'll lift and lower again. So take a big inhale, lift up, stretch everything up, and then exhale back down. 2 more, so big inhale, lift up. Easy exhale down. Last one, big inhale, lift up. Easy exhale down. Good. Coming into our reverse warrior. So rotate the front hand. Inhale, lift up. Slide your back hand down that back leg. Getting that big stretch there. Inhale again. And as you exhale, sweep through extended side angle. So again, just finding what suits you best on this side. Nice big inhale, lift up. Back to your reverse warrior again. Inhale. Exhale, sweep through. Let's go for one more. Why not? Inhale, lift up. Reverse warrior. Coming into warrior two. So sweep those hands forward. And we're going to come into our forward fold on this side. So take your time. I hope you caught my face because I thought I was going to fall over then. I felt good. And we'll come into that forward fold. So you can bring your hands to your hips. Stick your bum out, nice flat back as long as you can, and then gently coming forward again. So this time we can have maybe a little bit more play in the knees. If you wanted to take this a little further, we can come in towards a yogi squat. So for a yogi squat, I bring my heels in, take my toes out. I'm going to come a little bit narrower so you have a little bit of a root around here. See where you can get to, so that we can start to bring the bottom lower than the knees. So that's going to help us. It's that big change. You'll suddenly feel it when you go from one position to the other. The reason I like to take a little side to side here, if you're here with me, is that you're probably feeling it quite pinchy in your hips. It can be a little bit tight in the hips. If it becomes too much, lean to one side, stretch the leg out, give it a little release, and then move on to the other side and maybe stretch it out too. And it's a good way just to find that middle ground where you can start to bring the bottom down low, coming into your squat, keeping the heels and the toes down. Then maybe we can get to that position where the elbows are on the inside of the knees and the hands are in prayer pose. And if this feels too much today, you could release the hands and lean forward. You could go for one leg at a time. Just that little sort of ninja move. Or we could come back up again and just come into our forward folds. Whatever works for you best. So I just want you to basically have a little explore, a little move around, and see what you like the look of today. If you're in your yogi squat, maybe bringing the hands into prayer pose, you can also take a little twist here. So take a twist, I would bring one hand down, so I've got it just fingertips on the ground, and then open up my opposite arm looking up. And then the same thing on the other side. So I would cross it over and bring it up. So I can tell I've not done this for a while. I'm definitely feeling it in those hips today. So it's a really, really good one for your hips. It's a good one for your back. You can really get into those knee creases, pushing the elbows into the knees. So you're going to feel it in those hips there. We'll use this as our little hip opener time, I reckon, if you're here with me. If you can't get down to this position, stay there with me if you are, but just going to quickly show you that you could use a step or a chair, place your bottom on it. I'm going to make sure I don't hit my head. And then from this position, take your knees out wide and push down from here. But just coming seated into a pose as you do it is going to take a lot of that pressure off. So you can easily do that if this is a bit tight for you. And we're going to start to come out, I promise. So bring hands down, push your bum up, and come up back to that little wide-legged forward fold for me. You can walk the feet out again. See how it feels this time around. From that position in our forward fold, I want you to come to the front of your mat and just rotate the feet to bring you into your low lunge just as you get there in your own time. Ground your hands down, push back, down dog. Breathe. Pedal those feet. Again, you can come onto the toes if you prefer. Take a nice big deep inhale. As you exhale, soften the knees down to the ground. Uncurl the toes. And rest back in child's pose. Then feel free to grab a little drink whenever you need one. I feel like that got a little intense at the end there. Okay. So, believe it or not, super speedy. We're in relaxation time. It happens too quickly. I suddenly look at the clock and go, oh. So we will go into our relaxation. If you need any more of a stretch, feel free just to go for it as you're easing into it. So if you wanted a little last back stretch or a hip stretch, take your time. If you are doing this live on YouTube, pretty sure I'm saying this, I think you can pause me for a bit, so you can always have a little bit longer, just going into those hip openers that we normally go for. And then come back to relaxation if you're not quite ready for it yet. But I'm always keen to make sure I stick to a good time for you, so just see how you feel. But if you're happy to, we can come into our lying down position. I always say seated because it's much easier for me to talk this way, believe it or not. But yes, lying down flat. You can put a bend in the knees if you prefer. So you can come into, I'm going to get my speaker, this little position if this is more comfortable for you. So just find what works for you best. If you wanted to release your hips a bit more, then in this position, it's a nice place to put the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. That can also be a really good one. So again, just see what suits you today. So getting comfy for me, taking the breath all the way down to the belly. Then once you're there, we'll just start at the very top of the head. Slowly releasing all the tiny muscles in the scalp, down behind the backs of the ears, nape of the neck. If it feels good, you can just turn your head side to side, just easing it down to the ground and feeling it soften. Working back through to the hairline and gently onto the face. You can just raise the eyebrows up, feel that tension rise in the forehead, and release. Just feeling it soften back down. Moving down to the eyes, you can gently roll them one way, and then back the other way. And just soften them down into the sockets. Moving down the bridge of the nose and the cheeks, all the way through to the jawline. You can just clench the teeth together. Feel that tension rise in the mouth. And release. Just feeling the whole face relax. Softening the tongue and the mouth. You can send that feeling all the way down the throat and the neck, deep into the collarbone. In turn, just shifting that feeling into the shoulder blades, maybe moving them side to side. And working over to the shoulders and gently down the arms. All the way to the elbows and the forearms, through the wrists, and then deep into the hands. And just clench the hands into fists. Feel that tension rise all the way up. And release. Just feeling them soften back down. Moving that feeling up to the very top of the back. We can gently work our way down the vertebrae. One notch at a time. Easing it down to the ground. All the way to the hips. From there we can send that feeling up to the top of the chest. And just follow the breath. It releases across the chest, down into the ribs and sides, and all the way into the belly. Just relaxing the muscles as we go. You can start to move that feeling through the hips, the top of the thighs, all the way to the kneecaps. Just squeeze the knees in, feel that tension rise in the legs, and release. Just feeling them soften back down. Moving through the shins and the calves, all the way through the ankles, and then deep into the feet. Just create that final piece of tension there by squeezing the toes as much as you can. Feel the tension rise up and release. Just feeling them soften back down. Maybe ease to the side. So we can just spend some time focusing solely on the breath. To stay connected, you can count those inhales and exhales. And if any thoughts come at all, you just acknowledge them and let them go. Very gently. We can just start to bring our awareness back into the room. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. And just start to focus back on the breath. I want you to take 3 big full body stretches today to help you wake up. So as you inhale, we can lift the arms all the way up. Maybe even point the fingers and toes. And as you exhale, just soften back down. We'll just try that 2 more times. So as you inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, soften back down. Last one, big inhale. Stretch everything out. And then exhale, soften back down. Very gently, in your own time, you can just start to roll onto one side and make your way back to that seated pose where we started. Take your time. Once you're there, we are just going to tune out in exactly the same way that we tuned in. Sitting up nice and tall, we can bring the hands down to the sides. Take a nice big breath in to lift all the way up. Easy exhale out the mouth. Brings the hands down to the chest. We'll just plug those thumbs into the heartbeats. Find that nice, easy rhythm. 2 more times just the same. Big inhale floats you up. Easy exhale softens you back down. And one last time. Big inhale. Easy exhale. While we have the thumbs on the heartbeat, it's a good time just to scan through the body and just notice how it feels. And then draw that attention towards the breath without changing it too much, just noticing how it feels in your body. And finally, the mind. Just want you to notice how you feel right this moment. And namaste. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed tonight's little flow. Got a little bit hot in places, which was good. Hopefully built a bit of energy for you. So this week's a little bit different. Obviously, tonight is Wednesday, not Tuesday for a start. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to do a morning guided meditation at 8:15, and that will probably just be till 8:30. It's just going to be a nice little morning meditation just to get us all set up. And then Friday is going to be our Friday morning little stretch. So it's again 8:15, normally about 15, 20 minutes or so, again, just to set us up for the day. But tomorrow is just the one that's a little bit different, that we're going to be looking at meditation. So something that I've not done for a little while on here. And I thought a nice morning one will just set us up right. So that's the plan. And hopefully I shall see you there. Have a really nice evening, and I shall see you very soon. I'm going to turn you off over here, YouTube. And I'm going to come turn you off over there.